Welcome to episode 461 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the podcast covering all things geeky. I'm your host, William McDonald, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Casual Terror.
Alrighty, we're back, and I don't know about you, but I got a lot.
Let's see, I think I got nine things on my list, but a lot of them can go by kind of quick.
What's one of them you got?
Let's start off with the manga that I've been reading.
Oh,
yeah, I got a couple mangas I have been reading, multiple. One of them is Kaiju number 8. It's on Shonen Jump. And hey, guess what? World of Kaijus. But
shocking.
Yeah, right. But what they call Kaijus are not only giant monsters, but like smaller ones too, like human sized and smaller. And there is a defense force that fights them, and the main character, he wants to be in that defense force, but the problem is, and this is what drew me to it, he's in his 30s. He's not a goddamn high schooler. He's in his 30s. Yes. Yeah, this is
representation.
That's what drew me to him. I'm like, yes. But his dream, ever since he was a kid, was to be in the defense force, and he made a promise with his childhood friend that they would be the best officers in that defense force. They would be the coolest. Well, he didn't make it. She did, and she's like the poster child for the defense force. She's like the best of the best.
Sounds familiar. Like, I think I've heard about this one.
But he instead is part of the cleanup crew that comes in after they've killed the kaijus. And he's actually really good at it. But during one of the cleanups, a tiny kaiju that lived inside a bigger one survived and crawled inside of him.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was like a small enough where it could fit, force itself in his mouth. And he kind of got the powers of a kaiju. He's like insanely strong, insanely fast. And he does like a full he looks like a monster when he does this. So yeah, he finds out that the age limit to join the defense force has actually been increased. So he tries that again, succeeds, and for a while he's kind of hiding the fact that he's secretly a kaiju. And the reason it's called Kaiju number 8 is because there's a rating system, like how strong the kaijus are, and like the top like the strongest ones. There's only been 7 so far, and then he shows up, demonstrates he is that strong, so he's now Kaiju number 8. And this is becoming an anime.
I saw that. Yeah.
And let's see, there are 72 chapters out. I have only read through 71, and I read that in a weekend.
And it's on hiatus apparently.
Well, it goes on hiatus, like they take like 2 weeks off, like every so often.
Okay. Yeah, this article talks about being on hiatus following the anime reveal.
Well, like chapter 72 like came out like Thursday.
Okay. I mean, if it's like every 2 weeks, then that's not really much of a hiatus,
Oh,
right?
like like one of the things even says like, "Hey, we're taking breaks every so often."
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, yeah, okay.
So yeah, I mean that's perfectly fine. Like, yeah, chapter 72 came out Thursday. Next chapter in 12 days, apparently. So it's like every 2 weeks, and then they take a week off, or then they take like a one off. So like every so often.
Okay, that's pretty good. Like, I know Dragon Ball is like they're on a, I don't know how long their hiatus is going to be, but and they're only monthly. So
Yeah, so like it's
this sounds interesting. It sounds hilarious. Like,
it is it's very comical. It's
yeah,
there's a lot of the comedy faces that being made. It's not super serious. And I can pretty much tell you where the first season this is going to end. I can tell you kind of right where that's going to be. But yeah, and I read this in a weekend, but like I only read like 2 hours a day, if that. Like it's a quick read. It's a very quick read. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this anime. It's gonna be good.
yeah, it'll be on my watch list or my list to watch out for, I guess. Yeah.
What have you been up to though?
I can't think of anything that I've read, but I've started listening to the Sandman audiobook,
Okay.
or at least the first act. It's divided into 2 acts, and oh my god, it's lengthy. It's lengthy, Stuart. Like, I was trying to see like what's the total. I'm a few hours. I'm like, let's see, can I? How do I look at the chapters without playing this again? Because I was just looking through, trying to look to see like how long they are. Like the second act is 13 hours 47 minutes.
Okay, so it's
I
not the audiobooks that's on Audible.
This is a production that Audible came out with, fairly recently too. It's got a just crazy cast. Oh, see, I played it again. Let's see, can I?
Because let's see, book 1 is 11 hours and 2 minutes.
Okay, so that, yeah, I have like I'm like four. I'm a little more than about 4 hours into it. Sandman.
Oh man, it's got a cast. Kat
Yeah,
Dennings, Neil Gaiman, who himself is like an amazing voice person. James McAvoy, Andy
James
Serkis.
McAvoy is Dream / Morpheus Sandman whatever
I
other
need to
names.
I need to check this out.
Yeah, like I did. I mentioned this, I think, when you were talking about the show briefly, but because I had picked this up, but I never got around to actually actually starting it. But it's got a crazy cast. Yeah, I hope you had John Lithgow's in it. Um,
Why is he not
I'm
on
tr-
this list on Audible? Why you fail
Bill Nighy's in it.
again? The hell?
Andy Serkis. Oh, Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen is Lucifer.
Oh, if I scroll down, I see a lot more.
Oh, Kevin Smith's in it. Oh, that's gonna take me out of it.
Well, that was my issue with the Netflix show was every time Patton Oswalt spoke, he took me out of it.
Oh, David Tennant's in it as Loki.
Interesting.
Jeffrey Wright's in it.
I'm picking
Yeah.
this up.
It's
I'm 100% picking this up.
Oh, and what's the Egerton? What's his name? The Taron Egerton, the dude from Kingsman, and which when I mean
Oh,
the
Eggsy.
exit. Yeah,
he played. Okay,
he's Constantine.
cool.
Which, I mean, they do good jobs, because like I had to look up to I recently looked up to see who played who, and was like I mean, Michael Sheen, I knew his voice,
Sure.
but like I didn't know
And he
I
plays
didn't know
man.
Lucifer. Yeah, like I didn't know who Constantine was, who Constantine was. I didn't really like. Now that I know, I can hear it, or I can picture James McAvoy as Morpheus, but like it's not like it stood out to where it like took me out of
Arthur Darvill is William Shakespeare. Okay.
It's got a crazy cast. Yeah,
This cast is insane.
yeah. And of course Neil Gaiman's narrating it, and his voice is already
And
like
his voice is already awesome.
it's just like, yeah. I'm excited about when Kat Dennings, like,
Oh, she's playing Death. Oh
yeah.
man, and that was the character I absolutely fell in love with from the Netflix show. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like this is my first like knowing anything about Sandman, like like diving into Sandman. Never read the comics, haven't watched the show because I don't have Netflix, so whatever.
We need to rectify
And
that.
this is like oh, tangent. Have you seen their like new paid service that they announced? It's garbage.
Netflix?
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Yeah, they just announced 720p ad supported for like $8 a month. And not everything's on there too. It's like, what? That was a recent announcement, like a couple days ago. I saw.
Yeah, Thursday.
Like,
I'm looking at the Netflix post.
You can't. Yeah, it's like, what? Like 720p? I guess that's better than their current basic plan, which is 480 for $10.
Well, this says it's $6.99, so it's 7.
Oh, is it 7? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it was like 7 or 8, whatever, but so somewhere around there. But yeah, it's still though. It's like, and not everything is on there. because of licensing fee or licensing deals or something. I don't know. It's just like, oh, that seems kind of messy. But anyways, I'm enjoying this. Like I said, I'm like 4 hours in. Like it's great. Like it's really well done. And like I said, like you've seen, it's long.
Yeah, 11 hours for, see, part one, part two is
It's over 13
13,
hours.
part 3 is
13:47. Yeah.
11 and a half. Yeah, it's
Wait,
long.
there's a part 3?
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I see part 3 when I got 1 and 2? Mm.
As of like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I picked part 1 and 2 up longer than that, I think.
Yeah, this came
Think
out on the 28th of September.
okay, yeah, then it's that, yeah. I got 1 and 2 like at the beginning of September, I think. So I got to pick up part 3 eventually. But yeah, just it's crazy. And as I mentioned, from what I heard, the show was done differently from like the movies and the books, or the book and the audiobook. So like what you've seen, as far as the show
Sure.
goes, isn't going to actually, it won't, there's going to be different things from
Sure.
this,
Um,
which is cool.
yeah, that's
I'm
perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, this
When Kevin Smith pops on, that's gonna really pull me out of like, because it's really well done. Like
okay,
it's
that's I'm putting these in my cart to buy later.
God, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm enjoying it though. It's really good.
It is
Like,
also, it's $100 to buy all three. I will say that.
unless you got like Audible, the
Yeah, if you
membership,
got like the
whatever
credits and
you
stuff. Yeah.
credits, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, but you're getting like, what is it? The first 2 acts is 24 hours of itself in itself.
True. Very true.
I forget what you said the third part is, but like that's a
It's
lot. You're getting a lot of high quality audio, like production, like audio drama production, whatever, from an amazing cast. So like it's worth it. It's worth like either picking it up straight up or doing Audible, because free trial for Audible and
which I've
whatever.
already used, so I don't have that
Yeah.
option.
Oh yeah,
And
I mean it, like
as much as I
people
love
listening.
audiobooks, I don't go through them enough to warrant like getting a subscription to Audible.
I get you. I think I had an email that was like, come back or something and get 2 months or whatever, and that's where I used the credits for. It was something like that. They'll, from time to time, they have stuff like that. But yeah, that's how I picked up 1 and 2. Was I had like 2 months of credits or whatever from a like, hey, we miss you, come back email thing, you know,
Yeah.
which is like, those are always nice, like just out of the blue.
I
But
keep
it's really great.
I keep getting one from Venmo. Here's
Venmo.
here's $10. Like, what the fuck? From Venmo. Like, I've used Venmo once.
I mean, $10 is $10. Like,
Yeah, but what can I use on Venmo for $10?
can't you transfer it to like your bank? Like, and then just,
No, that's kind of the point.
oh, it's an actual, like, okay. I don't know. I don't use Venmo. I think I've used Venmo like once. Yeah.
I
Like,
used it once to help, split a meal.
I mean, we're too old for Venmo, pretty much. Like, Venmo is what the kids use, right?
It was
Even though
to pay
it's
my
PayPal, like
which you
it's owned by
cannot link
PayPal.
your Venmo and PayPal together, even though they're the same damn company. How the
Yup.
fuck is that?
Oh, what's better is you know, Uber Eats and Postmates, they're the same company as well, but they
I
operate
didn't know that.
differently.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Like if you ever like open up the Postmates app, it's Uber Eats. Like it's the same app, just as Postmates.
See,
And
I
even
can't.
like it's yeah, I don't know. Like
Honestly, I cannot get myself to use those apps because it's double the cost of if I just go there by damn self.
yeah, I
So
get that for sure. Like the only time I ever use them is like when I get a occasional email that's like, "Hey, we've missed you. Here's credit." And then I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not?" 20 20 bucks off, like $30, sure. And then I just like do the pickup option. But yeah, those delivery apps suck for like for single people.
yes,
Like
yeah,
that's the worst part of it.
yes. That's
Like
the whole
it's
thing. Is like
probably
if it was
great
like
for
a family,
groups.
sure, perfectly works perfectly fine. But like it's just me, and my meals are like $10-15 at most. Depending on where I'm going, it's double that.
Or if you use it so much that you get those subscriptions, then I guess it's worth it. But like I don't order takeout that much anyways. So yeah. I we're both on the same page as far as that goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as those apps go. I cook a lot too. So I like cooking. But anyways, yeah, Sandman, the you know, big year for Neil Gaiman and the Sandman. Like
Really?
which God, yeah, it's crazy all this. It's crazy how much Neil Gaiman stuff is so good and is out there, like it's not fair that there are people like him who are that damn talented and pretty much anything he puts out is like just, an instant classic or
Right.
revered, like as highly as the stuff is.
Well, like there's a podcast I listen to, and they have a weekly book segment. And this past week they talked about a Neil Gaiman book. It was a kid's book that he made, and he narrates it on Audible. And they were commenting like Neil Gaiman's voice is so amazing, but yet you take somebody like Stephen King, or like you listen to him speak, and you're like, no, thank you. Because if you ever listen to Stephen King, he kind of talks like way up here, like he. Have you ever heard Stephen King talk?
I have. Yeah.
He's got a really high voice. It's like,
Which is hilarious. Yeah.
I can't.
Considering
You can't quite read to me like Neil Gaiman can.
I mean, that not only his voice, but he also has that British
Sure.
British factor as well.
Also British. Also
Yeah.
British.
So I mean, like British people, like for the most part, like anything they say can sound good. Like certain areas, certain areas, no. Yeah.
The Cockney accent, not so much.
Yeah, that's why I would remember Cockney, and then I was like, okay. but yeah, was it like Neil Gaiman's responsible for not only like Sandman, but with Good Omens, and isn't he responsible for Lucifer? I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, Lucifer is the same Lucifer from Sandman. It is literally the same character.
Yeah, because he was actually Neil Gaiman actually appeared on he voiced, like he did like he was on an episode of the Lucifer show before they actually straight up introduced God, and he was like kind of God or whatever narrating an
Oh, there's
episode or
also
something.
American Gods. Like the show, not so great, but the book was amazing. I loved the book.
Oh, is that Neil Gaiman too?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, yeah. And was Neil Gaiman's done stuff for like other things too. Like I think I think he created was it Angela, a character from like Spawn that ended up going to being sold to Marvel, that's technically Thor's sister. It was like an angel character or Valkyrie angel thing. And like Neil Gaiman's done a lot of crazy stuff. Like he's had, it's not fair. Like, why are people that talented? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's great though. Like I said, it's the production value is well worth picking up and listening to. So
Well, I have picked them up, so
yeah,
I
I
will be
think
listening to them for the next like year probably.
yeah, yeah, it's taken a little bit for me, but I think the what is it? I've gotten through the Lucifer stuff. Um, what is it? Hold on. There we go. Okay. Um, yeah, I think he's picked up all of his stuff he lost. I think
Okay.
that's where I'm
That's
at.
that's roughly where the TV show ends.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, it's like he well, I don't know. There's other DC characters in this, I should say.
And Batman
I,
shows up.
I mean, you're not far off. I guess yeah. It's Martian Manhunter,
Okay.
isn't it? For a
Okay.
little bit, which
Cool.
is kind of weird. Like,
Okay.
but yeah,
I mean,
and there
it
is like
it
Gotham. Like
does take
they do go to
place in that universe, so I mean, it's not
yeah. And there is like a few scene or the mentions of Gotham and a scene where Gotham's or characters in Gotham and stuff like that. So yeah, it is like it's kind of weird though. Like just when when that stuff happened, I was just like, oh, I forgot this actually it does take place in DC because like it just sucks you in. Like it's really well done. So I'm like looking forward to hearing what you think about it whenever you do get around to listening to it. But what's something else you got?
something else I got. Well, the other manga that I have read, this one not as many chapters, only a couple, only 10. So this one's recently new. It's called I just lost it. Damn it, where'd it go? Super Smartphone.
Oh, that's on my list to read. Yeah.
Um, there's only 10. Oh no, there's 22 chapters out. Um, and basically, this one does involve a the main character is a high school kid. He's super smart, but really does not apply himself. He kind of he makes sure he's kind of like the middle of the pack because he doesn't care. He doesn't have um the motivation to actually do well in school. But he finds in his backpack a tiny smartphone that then talks to him and it allows him to search literally anything, like
So a smartphone.
yes, but it's stuff that like even a smartphone wouldn't know, like
Okay.
like where is all of the change that has been dropped in the park.
Okay.
So like he then
Gotcha.
so like what the smartphone does is it then looks at like security camera footage and then makes notes of like when people have dropped change, and then he goes and kind of picks up the change in a park, which is not much, but you know that kind of gives you an idea of like what it can look up.
So there's like AI machine learning behind it all type.
Yes, but like way more powerful than exists.
Oh yeah, but like stuff we've seen in sci-fi.
Yes.
Like
And he kind of figures out that he's not the only one with a smartphone. And he also, like, just by using the smartphone in certain ways, he gets points. And he can use those points to do stuff like hide himself from searches from other smartphone users, or just plain out just the internet. But it does so in a way like it just like blanks it out. So like if you look at like the class roster, like his number is literally skipped over. Like it goes from like 15 to like 17. So like you know something is missing, but you don't know what. That kind of a thing. You see there, it's enough to know where you can see that there's a hole. And it's seeming a way coming to the way it's kind of working out. It might be some type of death game.
oh, okay. Interesting.
But that has not been identified yet. But they do know that there are 12 smartphones, and one person has lost theirs because one of the rules is you cannot reveal the smartphone to anybody.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he lost his, and a bunch of points went to the person who was responsible for him actually revealing his smartphone. Because you can reveal it to other smartphone users, but not just like a normal person.
Okay. Yeah, this is on my list to check out. It's looked interesting.
It is. Like I said, it's kind of like it might end up being a death game, and it's 22 episodes in, and it is not clear.
Yeah, and also like yeah, this is one where
chapters.
Yeah, this was one where it was like it's not a huge like. There's not a whole lot to like. Like the other one you were mentioning. There's 70 something. Like that's kind of like
this one just
a lot
started
to get into.
Yeah,
this one just started.
This one started in May.
Yeah, I noticed this when I was reading Dragon Ball, and I was like, okay, I'll put this on my list.
I'm gonna Shonen Jump kind of sucks if you want to look for something new to read. Like, unless you know exactly what the name of the thing you want to read is, you're shit out of luck. You're just looking at a list of covers and names. Yeah. But like, if you want to search for a genre, that doesn't exist. You want to do any other type of search other than through title? Nah, can't do it.
Yeah, it definitely sucks if you want to if you're new wanting to get into stuff, but like if you're caught up, it's great because you don't even have to pay to read the newest stuff, right?
Sure.
Because the newest ones are the free. It's the old stuff you have to pay to actually read.
Yeah, but also if you're caught up and you're like, oh, what's the name of that manga I like? Well, fuck, it's gone because it's not in the read next because there is no read next, so it disappears from your fucking list until there's a new one, unless you favorited it, which is good luck figuring out how to do that.
I was about to say, yeah, isn't there a favorite thing?
But yeah,
Thought.
but boy, is it hidden.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It only appears when you're doing the search itself, not when you like, okay, I'm actually in looking at all the chapters. Favorites not an option.
Okay, smartphone, it shows it right away. Like when I launch the app. Let me see.
Well, that's I did it on my tablet, and like it's not like when you look under like the actual super smartphone, there is no favorite button when you're looking at like the list of chapters. But when you do this actually search for it and before you click into it, then there's the favorite button.
Yeah, I just launched it on my tablet. And yeah, favorites like right when you launch it, it's on the bottom. Home, favorite, download, purchase,
No, yeah, no.
account.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. But I'm talking about if you want to favorite a manga.
Oh, okay. So I don't know how I did that. I have favorites, but I don't remember how I actually did that.
Exactly.
Oh, it says, maybe I've read some of Super Smartphone because it says continue reading. Last read chapter 10. Maybe I've started it. Sounded familiar, like when you were mentioning stuff. Yeah, a lot of these apps, they need to be worked on, and you know, unfortunately, a lot of like anime and manga apps are just garbage. Like,
Yeah, they really kind of are. And something else that I've noticed, this might be this has got to be a new policy. Like I was looking up manga on um Comixology, and you can no longer buy through the app now.
oh, that's because yeah, that was one of the big kerfluffles. You can't buy. I don't think you can really buy anything through the app necessarily
You can't buy
because
if you um if you have a Fire Stick, you cannot rent anything through the damn Fire Stick. You have to go on your computer on a fucking website.
That's dumb. Yeah. The comic thing, yeah, all the comic book YouTubers I follow, that was a big thing because they hate when because was it Amazon like basically incorporated Comixology into Kindle and all that, and
which
you have to buy it on the website because they don't want to give like Google or Apple their cut, their like whatever cut.
Right. Even if it's a fucking Fire Stick, though, that's the thing.
That's confusing.
A Fire Stick, you can't rent a movie through the Fire Stick.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Dumb.
That one doesn't make sense. I agree with you there.
Now you can do it through the Amazon app on your phone, I think. And actually, no, you can't. You can't do it on your phone either. Because
because they don't want to give.
I was going to get an audiobook, and I can't buy on the Audible app.
Yeah, because like because they'd have to give like Google and Apple a cut if you got the app through their store. They're,
What's changed? I mean, that's always been the case.
I think it's a recent thing that they changed it. Yeah.
No,
Like,
that's
because
they've always taken their cut. I mean,
no, I mean, I think it's a recent thing. Amazon preventing you from being able to.
Yes. No, yes, it is.
Is
It
a more,
is. It is within
yeah,
the last 6 months, I want to say.
yeah. That's a recent thing.
Yes.
I think. Yeah. Yeah. The 30, I think it's 30% cut that Apple and Google gets.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a lot.
it's better than like say something like Twitch. That's 50-50 for like subs,
You used to be 30. If you were a partner,
Well, a side tangent on that.
you got a better cut if you're a partner than if you were an affiliate.
If you're a big partner, you still get that cut, but it's only the first 100,000
yeah,
that you make, and then it's 50-50. Yeah, which like kind of sucks, but like that also only affects like 0.01% of Twitch streamers.
If that.
Yeah.
If
like
that.
How many people are gonna make more on Twitch are gonna make more than $100,000?
Now there is a recent change that Twitch has made that actually I'm in favor of because this actually affects me.
The $50?
They lowered it from $100 to $50 for a payout.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
That's great. Yeah.
Because I have gotten paid out. I have gotten payouts. Thanks to you primarily.
Yeah, a lot of people I've seen recently have like seen a lot of people or heard a lot of people like yesterday or the day before just randomly get a payout because they had they don't even stream because they just had like like they don't stream anymore because they had like over 50 but under 100.
Yeah.
I checked and no, I didn't get a payout. But I'm gonna start streaming again.
I got
soon,
one
so
not that long ago, so it'll be a little while before I get mine. If I ever do again, I don't know. That's kind of up to you because you're the only one that actually does that actually gives me bits and stuff. So
yeah, I try every time there's like a good battle or something. I'll give you some bits when we stream. That's just what I remember, and it has nothing to do with necessarily the battles or I just remember like, oh, battle's over. Let me give him some bits. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, apparently I've read some of that super smartphone. Makes sense because, like I said, as you were describing stuff, it was sounding familiar. Like,
but it's also like it is also kind of like I've heard this before, kind of a thing as well.
God, I still can't believe I don't think we talked about this on the show. It was afterwards. We were looking stuff up that in another world with my smartphone is getting a second season.
Yeah. And then since then, I've seen lists from multiple places. It was like top 10 worst isekais.
Oh, it's always been on lists. I know. I've seen
it's
those
on there. I'm like,
I've seen those for a while now. Yeah. I like it. I don't care. Like,
it had potential, and then it kissed a 12-year-old.
well, I mean, what? What did you say?
It had potential, and then it kissed a 12-year-old.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Anyways, where's my list at? Open up so many tabs. Mm, I'll before I'll stick with anime. I'll do anime. Do some non-anime stuff. I rewatched Hocus Pocus.
Gee, I wonder why.
I have yet to watch Hocus Pocus 2, but I you know, I did focus again to get prepared. That is a damn good movie. It still holds up.
I wonder if it only holds up because of nostalgia.
No, the acting was pretty good. Like Sarah Jessica Parker was great playing a batshit crazy character. Like I was rather impressed with like how well she played that character and how like crazy and you know and then what's his name, the voice actor for the weird thing was the voice actor for the cat Binks, who was the boy who was
Uh-huh.
turned into a cat, cursed or whatever. It's actually a different voice than the actor who played the boy.
Yes.
Yeah, the actual voice actor was, and it's weird because at the end when it's you see the ghost of the actual actor, it's not his voice because it's the voice of,
No.
so
Yeah.
it's was it Jason Marsden, who's done so much. Yeah, Jason Marsden, who's like his IMDb is just crazy. He's he's been in stuff, live action stuff, to so many different voice roles. Um, was it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I definitely know him.
Yeah.
I know him more from his Boy Meets World stuff.
Well, he
Um,
did Boy Meets World, and then
he's
on like
Max
Full
and
House
Goof
and
Troop.
Step by
Yeah.
Step. Yeah, Max from yeah, from a Goofy movie, and he's. I mean, you look at it. All he does now is voice stuff.
Yes.
You know, but like, yeah, he was great in it. Um, which you expect a voice actor to be good at voice acting. So, but it for a live action movie, it was good. Like the the stuff with the kids was kind of like just because kid actors aren't necessarily the best.
Sure.
Not that they were terrible at all. It's just, and also it was like early 90s, so there was a lot of cheese factor like that I kind of was like, ugh, like
Yeah.
it's kind of.
And it's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah, it's the acting outside of like the main three. Yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, that's kid acting. But like the
And
main
see,
three though,
yeah, I've never had. I've enjoyed this, but I've never like had it on this pedestal like a lot of people do.
sure.
And I kind of went into this thinking, expecting not expecting a lot from this. So I was, maybe that also, surprised me that I had a lower expectation going back. But
That's where I sometimes when I can never place where I had seen the main kid, was his name Max. What else I had seen him in? Fucking Erie, Indiana. It's kind of like a knockoff kind of
that sounds familiar. That actually
um
sounds familiar.
yeah. What channel was it on? Like it might have been Nickelodeon. I don't know, maybe. Kind of like a kids X Files, or if maybe it was Fox. It was like kid X Files or
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I
Um,
recognize this. I remember this.
Goosebumps.
Fox Kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
The IMDb thing. Like it popped up Fox, like the little trailer that played for IMDb. It pops up Fox
Oh, sure
Kids.
it does.
Yeah.
It's like, weird stuff happening in that town, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
And
Huh.
Jason Marsden is in that.
Yeah, of course. Like early 90s, he did a lot of, he was in like everything. I feel like every like major sitcom. And
Sure. Yeah.
I recognize him from a lot of stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, his voice though, he's been just doing voice stuff, and he's done some iconic roles too. So Toby Maguire was in Erie, Indiana for an episode.
Oh, he was? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's fun. That's crazy.
Crap, he was. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't recognize anybody else though. Looking so. Oh, there's this. Wait, there was another Erie, Indiana? The Other Dimension in '98. I guess they tried to make another one. Huh.
Looks like
Anyways,
it.
yeah, I'm slowly trying to watch through. Like I'm not gonna watch through like crazy hardcore horror movies, but I want to watch. I'm trying to watch like Halloween stuff. Halloween themed things like I mentioned before, like to you before, like I think last time. I'm planning on watching like I'm watching this. I'm planning on watching Halloween Town, at least the first two,
I say 3.
three. I can't remember like where it stops being good,
It
but
might be the third one.
okay, yeah. And just stuff like that. Pretty much Disney Plus. I'm watching a lot of I'm going to be watching a lot of Disney Plus this this month.
Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
That I have that on my list. The Muppets one.
Oh, you're not gonna watch the Eddie Murphy one?
I saw that in theaters when it came out, and I was very disappointed. Me and my dad were both when we saw that.
The movie podcast I listen to, they're starting their scary Halloween movies, and they did the Haunted Mansion, and they did not completely shit on it. They said it wasn't
wow.
good, but it wasn't terrible either.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I don't remember it being like like there's few movies that I watch, and at the end I'm like offended I watched it, type of thing. Like
I think there was
for
only
example, The Village. That movie pissed me off. I was very upset when I saw that movie.
that movie has a special place in my heart because my sisters watched it when they were way too young, and one of my sisters, Allie, it freaked her the fuck out. Like she wouldn't walk down the hall if the lights were off. Like somebody had to go in front of her and turn on all the lights. You couldn't even say the word "the village." You had to say the V word.
Yeah, I really dislike that movie a lot.
Being the older brother, I really helped get her through it.
Yeah. I think that might be my most hated movie. I really felt like offended at the end of that movie, like with the twist and everything. Just I don't know. It really and I mind you, Stuart, I saw this movie in theaters for 50 cents because we had a movie theater here that they were smart and they had like they had movies that were like, 3 months out, basically they were about to be on DVD,
Uh-huh.
and it'd be 50 cents, but the concessions were where they got you, of course. And you felt like, oh, sure, it's only 50 cents for a movie ticket, so I can spend six at the time, like $6-7 for popcorn, you know, which now seems like a good deal. Um, but this was like back in high school, when it was that was kind of a lot, but so but yeah, boy, that the village. But anyways, yeah. So that's Hocus Pocus. That's one of my like Halloween themed things I plan on watching. And I try every year to like watch a whole bunch of like Halloween themed stuff, and just I don't watch as much as I want to, like, unfortunately. There's just so much other stuff I want to watch, you know. Like,
Right. And
but
how is like uh, a lot of people were talking about, excited for Hocus Pocus 2 before it came out, but then it was one of those things like it came out, but I heard nothing about it. Kind of see, it's got a 51 audience score.
I mean, I haven't heard negative things about it.
The only big old air quotes here negative thing that I've heard is that if you watch it, you invite demons into your home.
Okay.
Okay, you have not heard this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There
Like,
was I don't know where she's from, but um your mother, she doesn't let her children watch TV very often. But she had it on. She went to the other room and she heard strange noises coming from her living room. And when she returned, a demon was crawling out of the TV, grabbing for her child because Hocus Pocus 2 was on TV.
that's a different movie where the evil comes out of the TV. um,
So she's begging parents not to let their children watch Hocus Pocus 2 because it'll invite the devil into their hearts.
Isn't that The Ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Yes, The Ring.
Yeah. Like, you watch the videotape, you'll die in 7 days.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the and she was, of course, taken very seriously on the internet.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, I think back to like my childhood and some of the shit that if we had the internet today, like there was a kid I went to school with, his mom, like, his family was all like, oh, you can't do Pokemon is the devil. You can't, do Pokemon cards. You can't do anything because that's the devil, and this and this and that. And just like, I just remember all that very vivid. It was one of those types where it was like all these things that aren't like, that have a hint of like, I don't know, fun is the devil. Like,
Yeah, basically, yeah. I
yeah.
remember a conversation that was had in high school where Harry Potter was the devil's Bible.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Yeah.
That came from a very old friend of mine, and he was dead serious. And I've never looked at him the same again.
That kind of had like, that was kind of like our I feel like the Harry Potter thing was kind of our version of like D&D being the devil's thing.
Kinda.
Back when that was, back in like the 80s when with D&D. I feel like Harry Potter was kind of like our type of that. Because I remember that being like a thing. Like the local news would interview people who would talk about that or whatever. Back when like back when I actually watched stuff like the local news. But yeah, what's another thing you got?
See, another thing I got. Okay, let's keep with the demonic stuff. I rewatched an anime that is getting a second season. The Misfit of of Demon King Academy.
Oh, okay. Is
I
this the one where he remembers being
yes,
a demon? Okay, because there's a few where they're like
there
they're the
there is.
Demon King ring. Yeah, so
Yeah, this is
this one
kind of
he
like
remembers though.
I think this is
Okay,
the one that kind of started off that trend
gotcha.
of that. And this is getting a second season, and the reason I rewatched it was because there was a clip of it that was kind of shown on TikTok that I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll rewatch that. And it was of this happens in the first episode where asshole at school, as he's walking in, decides you're gonna be my punching bag and picks the wrong person. And in order to get into the school, there's a fight to see how powerful you are, and of course, he's up against that kid, and he literally snaps his finger, obliterates him, like turns him to goo, and then immediately revives him back to life, only to kill him again, revive him, kill him again, revive him, kill him again,
I remember that. I
revive him,
think
just on repeat until he submits.
this is also the one where like when he's a baby born, like he speaking like
Also,
yeah
he's
okay,
like
I remember that.
like a month old as well. Like he was born and could talk, and
Yeah,
like
straight. I remember
grew
this.
up
Yeah,
within a month.
I remember like that scene where it's like freaking out his parents or whatever. Yeah, I may have to rewatch that again. Yeah.
Oh, honey, what shall we name our kid? I know it's Voldigoat. Oh! Don't step on your dog.
I'm not. He's chewing himself.
I can't make that no animals were harmed make this podcast at the end of this.
He's not. He's not harmed. He's chewing himself. Chewed a little too tough. I don't even know where they are. I got two dogs around me. Anyways, yeah, this is. I guess this was one of the first ones that was like the Demon King reincarnated.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
See, and this came out. Crunchyroll does not give years. But judging by the comments, maybe around 2020.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah.
And yeah, this is getting a second season, which honestly, I'm shocked because it kind of had a satisfying ending. Can't say that much about anime, but it kind of had a, you know what? Everybody now believes he's now the Demon King. Everything is all right in the world. He defeated the bad guy. Everybody can go on living, which makes me wonder what the hell season 2 is going to be about.
Yep. That'll be interesting. It's a lot of yeah. We look. There's a lot of interesting animes getting you know, continuing in the next few seasons, like
Yeah.
fall, winter, spring seasons. I mean, like
Yes. Like the stuff that's coming up is some things never would have thought would have gone another season. It's going to be interesting.
yeah. I mean, after Devil is a part timer, you know, nothing surprises me.
Which I did start rewatching that. So eventually I'll get to season 2. I'm like 2 episodes away from the end of
I
season 1.
started season 2, and yeah, I'll just say it wasn't a crazy binge. Like I'm only a few episodes in.
Yeah, it was one a lot of people were hyped for that I saw, but then again, it came out and silence.
Yeah, it's not like Shield Hero where it was negative.
Oh yeah, that one
Like,
actually got negative. That one people were talking about, and it was bad. So
um,
but yeah, what about you? What else have you been watching? Or
no, I'll continue with spooky. Um, I did watch the Marvel special Werewolf by Night.
that I'm going to watch it at some point.
It's pretty good. It's, I guess, spoilers. It's black and white.
Yes.
I don't know if that spoils it for anybody, but it's black and white. Um, there's some deep Marvel, no, not too deep Marvel cuts, but like there's some. If you're you might recognize some characters, and then you might be kind of like, I've heard that name before, but I don't know really too much about that character, type of thing.
There is one that I know is in this, and it was in the trailer. He was in the trailer, and he's a certain thing that's also a man.
Yeah, Man Thing, isn't it? Which funny, because I think technically didn't Man Thing come out before Swamp Thing?
I don't know who came first. Man Thing or Swamp Thing? See, Swamp Thing debuted in Savage Tales May 1971. Swamp Thing debuted House of Secrets July of 71. Wow.
Yeah,
Like
that's the thing.
2 months apart.
Yeah. That's the yeah. It's like Man Thing is technically older, but like most people know Swamp Thing. Like
Right.
it's more iconic. But I guess yeah, since you know the Man Things in it, the CG looks really good. That also could be because it's black and white, so
It helps.
it helps. It was like less than an hour, I think. I think it's like 50 something minutes. Something like that. I can't there's just by night. 54 minutes.
Yeah.
Um it was pretty good. I liked it. Like I hope they do more stuff like this, like these like holiday special type things. I know we're getting
Well,
the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special like
yes.
next month. Um I wonder if we're gonna keep getting like more more stuff like this. Like next year, probably gonna get another like or you know spooky October themed Marvel special that continues maybe this or maybe other characters in the Marvel universe that make sense type of thing, or I don't know, but it was pretty good. It's a real small cast. There's not that many people in this, to be honest. Like there's not a lot of like characters in this whole thing. Um it was pretty good. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say I rather enjoyed it. It was something different. It was kind of a little darker than I expect, than I kind of expected. Um it's rated TV 14, and I guess I'm still not used to like mature stuff being on Disney Plus type of thing. But you know, it's it's pretty good. I
I
enjoyed
mean,
it.
Daredevil is on Daredevil. Daredevil is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean that stuff
Deadpool
is rather
is
recent
on
though.
Deadly.
Like,
Was on Disney Plus.
yeah, like I said, I'm just not. I'm still not used to like, and also like that stuff was made that stuff wasn't really made for Disney Plus. It was just added to Disney Plus. So I've always kind of thought that like, oh, the mouse is preventing them from really doing too much on these Disney Plus shows, but this kind of debunks that. So, which is good. Um, yeah, there's I look forward to you watching it, and then we can have a better discussion on it because yeah, there's
Yeah,
there's some interesting stuff.
there's a couple things on Disney Plus that I need to finish She-Hulk. I need to start
Uh, yep.
Andor. Yeah, also Werewolf by Night. I want to watch Hocus Pocus too.
Yeah, She-Hulk just wrapped up, so that's good. Um, I enjoyed She-Hulk overall for what it was. It was great. I think I'll just say that. But that's another one I can't wait for you to watch so we can have a discussion on. Just because, like, I don't really want to get into any details about stuff, about these things because I know you're gonna watch them.
I
There's
will
no convincing,
eventually.
like, there's no like, just, oh, I'm gonna discuss this to maybe convince you to watch it because I know you're going to watch it.
Yeah,
So,
I just need to sit down and do
um,
it.
yeah. What's another thing you got though?
Another thing I got. I watched Chainsaw Man,
Oh,
which is it's a new anime this season. Only one episode so far.
it's like the anime for the season.
Kinda. I did not hear about it until um I saw people were hyped about it. Like, okay, it's a dude with a chainsaw for a face and arms, and basically he lives in a world of devils, and um he's kind of he owes a lot of money to the yakuza, like so much so that he's homeless and eats bread as a meal, like nothing on the bread, just bread. uh and it's a slice at a time. It's like he buys a slice, and that was it. He poor. um and he ends up getting he ends up getting kind of killed. But his demon pet, he had kind of a demon pet, was a chainsaw dog. Basically, it was kind of a little pug with a chainsaw coming out of its forehead and the handle on its kind of rump end, and that's kind of what he used to fight devils. And he said, he told his pet at one point, if devils can take over bodies. If we are ever killed during a fight, which will happen eventually, just take over my body. So that's exactly kind of what happens, but instead, like right at the point of like being fully possessed by the devil, his pet just kind of went, nope, you do it instead. You live out your dream instead. And he kind of became a chainsaw face. And that's kind of it. It seems like it's going to be interesting. I don't know. It didn't really, like this one. I was like, okay, yeah, a lot of people like this one. Seems okay.
He eventually eats stuff on his toast, though, right?
I'm sure that's coming.
Yeah, because I saw a video that one YouTuber I follow, he made a video like because he does like anime foods and stuff like that, and one of his was like Chainsaw Man's favorite food, and it was like toast with like different stuff on it or whatever.
Well,
and,
that's
he made the bread himself in the video to make it legit, but yeah.
That's kind of the thing he talks about. Because while he's eating and sharing the piece of bread with his chainsaw dog, he says, I heard that some people have jam that goes on this bread. Imagine having something to put on bread. Yeah, so I'm assuming that yes,
Yeah,
that will happen, because kind of at the end he kind of gets found by the people who actually hunt devils for a living, and not just kind of as a freelancer.
gotcha.
And they kind of take him in as because he's unique, because he has the powers of a devil, but he's not possessed.
We've had chainsaw on a face, gun on a face, or gun face, chainsaw face. What's next? What are we gonna get next? The isekai truck on a face, or as a face.
Truck-kun is coming up. I've got a Truck-kun anime.
Yeah, a lot of people are hyped about Chainsaw Man, though. Like, I've seen a lot about it. A lot of people, I guess, hyped. I haven't really looked into it myself, to be honest.
I kind of only know it because, like, anime TikTok is something that pops up on my TikTok feed a lot, so I kind of know what people are hyped about basically through that.
Same. A lot of anime TikToks.
But what else? What have you been
on? Okay, last non-anime thing. A show on HBO called Avenue 5. I think that's the name. Hold on.
Avenue 5, not like Avenue Q?
No, not Avenue Q. That's something different. That's like that adult Muppets play, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's where the
Adult Sesame Street.
internet is for porn came from.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Um, I th- it says HBO original, so I don't know if it is or not, but it's a sci-fi comedy where starring Hugh Laurie, aka House,
Uh-huh.
aka was it Fry and Laurie, or what was that show they did? It was Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry.
I don't remember.
They had like
I don't know this.
oh, really? You should look it up. They had like a Monty Python sitcom or like sketch comedy style show, the two of them. Maybe it's a bit of something. A bit of Fry and Laurie, yeah. 1987. Went for 4 seasons. Yeah. Um Hugh Laurie's done other stuff, but like he's mostly known as House. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that's what he plays this captain of this. It's kind of like a cruise liner, but for space. And um something happens to where something happens where they're only supposed to be gone for like a certain amount of weeks, but something happens where it knocks them off course, and they are not a couple weeks is turning into like 3 years where they won't get back for 3 years.
I was going to make a 3-hour tour joke.
Well, 3 year tour. Like, yeah. The three is still there. Um uh this has what's his name?
Josh Gad.
This has Josh Get, yeah. This has a handful of people that like I recognize. Like, oh, it's that guy who was from like Silicon Valley, or oh, I recognize this person from something or another. Like there's a lot of familiar faces that I'm just like I haven't necessarily looked on IMDb yet to like, you know, like necessarily like
Sure. Yeah.
figure out where they're from, but like there's a lot of like those like hold
Ethan
on.
Phillips is in this.
New
He
five. Let me
played
look this up.
Neelix on Star Trek Voyager. He was like the ship's cook.
I have never seen Voyager, so
Which is why I told you he was the ship's cook.
gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of like I said, there's a lot of people you'll be like, oh, it's that guy, or it's oh that person. They look familiar. Um, where's this person? Oh, anyways, it's pretty funny. Like I said, it's a comedy. Space, they're in space. There's some sci-fi to it. It's exaggerated a bunch because it's a comedy. Um, Hugh Laurie's great. He's, you know, it. I don't know if this.
Yeah, looking at the trailer that played on IMDb, I saw like literal like mob of with like pitchforks.
Yeah. It turns out like Hugh Laurie is like the captain of the ship, but he is like just an actor, you
Gotcha.
know.
Doesn't
So
actually
to
do
play the
anything because
role,
it's all automated.
pretty much. I mean, there is crew. Like, there's a what's where is she in here? There's a female crew member who's pretty much like the smartest one on the as far as the engineering stuff goes. Her name's Billy in the show, or whatever. Um, so like there is a small set of crew, but like everything's pretty much on.
She looks
They
very
hide.
familiar.
She does. I'm trying to look to see. Uh,
Doctor Who.
Was she in Doctor Who? Okay,
Doctor
yeah.
Who. She was in the Gridlock episode.
There's probably a few people from Doctor Who in this that I've like maybe. I don't know, but anyways, it's really good. I enjoy it. Second season just started on HBO on HBO. This is on HBO Max, of course. Um yeah, Josh Gad is like he plays like the owner of like the company that, you know, he's Herman Judd, and it's like Judd Industries or Judd something whatever. And like he's just it's comedy. It's like a spoof of a comedy space, you know, show. Like, you know, things are exaggerated quite a bit, and you know, like he's supposed to be this genius who's the founder of this big tech company, but he's like so stupid when it comes to like logical things.
Sure.
There's a character called Karen who is basically a Karen. Like, there's no getting around that. Uh, there's just some interesting dumb stuff, like, you know, the in I think it's like the first episode, like the actual like secret captain who's, you know, in charge gets killed. So that's where this the next in charge Billy, or the next smartest one, the female Billy, comes into play and helps out and whatever. And they, like, you know, they do a whole service thing, and they jettison, you know, the I think his name, I can't remember, like it was the first episode, and like I said, the character died right away, but they jettison him. But like the spaceship is so big it has its own gravity, like, so it just rotates around the ship. Like they didn't really factor it, like they didn't factor it in, and so it's just rotating. And there's, you know, more stuff like that, you know, they end up ejecting more things that ends up just like rotating around the ship. And it's pretty funny. It's
That's
really
good.
good.
That's
Like
good.
it's a good like lighthearted comedy type thing that has some sci-fi elements to it, you know. And it's Hugh Laurie, like, you know. Oh, he pretends to, when he's pretending, he pretends to be American. So you got the like his American house voice. And then like they find out he's not, and he, you know, he'll switch into his back into his normal British voice or whatever. At first they're like, "What are you, Australian?" And he's like, "Australian? No, I am British." And they're like, "That's even worse." He's like, "How is that worse?" Um, and apparently, like he pretends to be American because, like, I guess he says they they trust Americans more or something. Like they feel more comfortable, you know, with the captain being American or something. I don't know. It's just it's pretty
Which
funny.
is the opposite in real life. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. She from? Oh yeah, there's an like the person in charge of there's a person in charge of like the Judd company trying to like save them or whatever on Earth. She was actually in a Doctor Who episode, Twice Upon a Time. I don't remember that one. 2017 looks like. But yeah, so there, I feel like there's gonna be a lot, probably a few people who were in Doctor Who that's maybe what's triggering me from. I've seen them in something, but it's pretty good. I would highly recommend, like, if you're looking for something like nothing, something comedy, lighthearted, nothing too intense. Sometimes I just need something like that, like I just don't want to I don't want to watch something like too intense, like before bed or something like that. I've mentioned that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. See,
This is
Twice Upon a Time was Capaldi's last episode and Jody's first.
oh, okay.
Jody's first appearance.
Gotcha. Really? 2017 was wow, that I can't
It was.
that
It was
long ago.
2017.
Wow.
Just
That was Capaldi's last?
it was a
Wow.
Christmas episode.
That's wow. I can't believe she's been the doctor for that long.
Yeah. She's been the doctor since 2018.
Wow. That's mind-blowing. Like, wow. Okay. But yeah, first season just started, or second season just started. And let's see how many episodes are there's only 9 episodes in the first season. So, they're like 28-minute long episodes, so typical like comedy, sitcom comedy. It's not like a sitcom, it's a comedy, but yeah, that's that, I don't know. I've seen this, but I never clicked that it was Hugh Laurie like until recently, and that's what kind of made me like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I love Hugh Laurie. I watched a lot of House, so um, what's something else you got?
See, something else I got. The rest of the anime that I've got, it's all new stuff that started this season.
Ooh, okay.
Um see, which one should I start with? Let's start with Reincarnated as a Sword. Because it's one of those, it's like, all right, this one has a dumb isekai reincarnated name. How And usually those are typically my favorite ones. Reincarnated as a slime. I fucking love that one. Um, so I became a spider. So what? I loved that one absolutely. And so reincarnated as a sword, and it's starting out. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna like it a lot.
Oh, it's good to hear.
Dude, he dies. I forget from what.
It's not a truck.
It could have been. I don't know. It's not the one I'm thinking. That one that's it's coming for a fact. I know. Could have been a truck. I don't remember. But I don't think we ever saw his other self. Like, it kind of starts off like him just kind of waking up, and he's a sword stuck in the middle of this forest. But he's what's known as an intelligent weapon. And he has abilities like levitation that actually lets him move around himself. So he actually spends some time by himself just killing goblins and whatever he finds in the forest, and levels up and gains new abilities. And he's just kind of waiting on his wielder to kind of find him. And um, he accidentally kind of lands and rests in a spot where like the ground is like sapping his magic, so he can't move. He can no longer levitate, and he's now just kind of stuck there. And he's stuck there for a while. Like it's like, 1 day later, 3 days later, 1 month later. Like he's there a while. And there is this black cat girl who is a slave, and being treated harshly, and as typical for slave. And they get attacked by a bear or something, and just kind of it kills everybody. But she ends up running and finding the sword. She takes the sword. He helps her fight and ends up freeing her as well. And now she's basically on her quest to be the first black cat to evolve. Because as soon you level up enough and everybody evolves, but a black cat has never evolved. And it was kind of her parents' wish to try to evolve, but it didn't end well for them. So now, typical fantasy isekai, joins the Adventurers Guild. There's a test fight. She ends up doing very well. And yeah, it's only 2 episodes so far. But so far, it's not bad. So far, it's not bad.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and like she's kind of looked down upon because she's a black cat, and it's not really been made clear what the problem with black cats are, but there is apparently they're not looked well upon, and that the fact that one did so well in the entrance exam, some of the other guild members are like, you cheated, so why don't you hand over all that gold you just made, that kind of a thing. And she responds by cutting the dude's feet off. So it gets kind of violent at points. There is blood and guts. It's not a but yeah, two episodes. I'm looking forward to more. I've heard that the manga is very good, and I tried to look it up, and it's on Comixology, and that's kind of where I found out about the can't buy on the app kind of a thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I may end up picking up the manga. I'm not sure yet. But reincarnated as a sword. I like the ones with the odd reincarnation names. Those tend to be the better ones.
Yeah. There's a track record. Yeah.
Now, if only they make reincarnated as an onsen the anime, a hot spring.
Oh yeah. Yes. That'll be interesting. I'm looking at, I don't just names. Anime I watched. I'm only gonna say the second part, Moonlit Fantasy, because I don't even know like Tsukimichi. Tsukimi.
Tsukimichi.
Tsukimichi, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moonlit Fantasy. Um, that's an isekai. Um, where the main character, apparently his parents made a deal with a goddess for him to be like, I guess, a hero or something. And so what happens is it's time. He goes and meets the goddess. She finds him ugly and
Wonderful.
is like, "Oh, you are so hideous, and oh my god, you're just no, you're get away from me. I'm gonna, have mercy on you, and you're gonna live. I'm gonna make. I'm gonna. I'm not. I'm gonna make sure you can. I'm gonna be merciful and make sure you can read and write in every other language that's like not spoken or whatever. The phrasing was weird, and it turns out, and it comes into play because he can't speak and write common, but he can speak and write like, hey, settle down, little girl. Sorry, I don't know if you heard, my dog was just growling like crazy. um but yes, he can read and write like orc and or pig language or all these other crazy languages, but like when it comes to actual like a language like common, like what actual like humans in this world can read and speak, he can't. um he has to learn somehow, and there's a way he gets around it, but there's another like god or god there's another god or whatever that has pity on him and bestows some abilities to him. But like the goddess throws him into like just far away from any like human village, and like I think the first person he meets is like this pig lady who kind of looks like an anime Miss Piggy, weirdly enough.
All right.
He saves her and whatnot, and starts to does the whole like isekai normal stuff of, oh, he's leveling up, he's getting stronger, he befriends this, or he like he encounters this like dragon who um like like basically what's it called, making a contract with or whatever to be his or slave or servant or whatever the terms are. I can't remember exactly. uh this one I watched a little bit ago, so I'm trying to remember. And then like there's this giant like crazy killer spider that he meets and fights with, and then ends up like turning into his like follower or slave or companion or whatever you want to, and then he ends up making his own like town or his own like little village area with all these like with all the like the pig people and the spider people that follow the one he fought, and all this and that's in this like realm of the dragon has her own like realm or whatever that's supposed to be like this fiery, like just god awful like place, horrible, dark, gloomy, whatever. But like once like the dragon becomes kind of like his like familiar type thing, whatever, it the domain, the other dimension domain, like changes into this lush green paradise that with running streams and weirdly enough, it has vegetation that he remembers from his world and whatnot, type of thing. But when he does encounter like he doesn't trying to encounter like what's it called, a human village, and that's when he learns like he can't read or write, you know. Um, and he like ends up scaring them because like he's so powerful, and he has this like he's just apparently was it radiating like on a just ungodly scale, to where like they make the comparison that it's like it looks like he looks like he's like six demon kings, you know. It's like it shows like him, and then like these like kind of like six demon kings way high up all around him, because that's how like that's what other people are sensing, because his he wasn't controlling his mana, and he was just letting it flow crazy and whatnot. And it's kind of a goofy, yeah. See, it's like an anime Miss Piggy, right?
I would say
Like,
yes, you are correct. I started laughing because I found this picture. I'm like, oh, you're right. No, you totally called that one. Yep, anime Miss Piggy. You called that
yeah.
one.
It's a good one. It's a good anime. Like I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to like
I
spoil anything, but
I have seen clips of this on TikTok because I remember thinking that I'm pretty sure this is the Dragon Lady, looks like the spirit chick from Yu Yu Hakusho.
oh yeah, she does. She does look like what's her name?
Her name starts with
Yeah,
B.
Botan.
Oh, Botan. That's it.
Yeah. As soon as you said B, I was like, oh yeah, Botan. Yeah, yeah. That is the dragon chick, and then the like the one they're able to like she's able to look into his mind, and she's like ends up like kind of like looking into his mind like it's like they're episodes of a show type thing. Like she's able to watch, and she ends up seeing like historical like Japanese historical drama stuff, whatever, and she gets obsessed with like samurais and all that kind of stuff, and ends up trying to imitate that. And then the like spider lady, whatever, she ends up seeing, I think like manga or whatever stuff like that through his memories, that the dragon lady. And it's there's a lot of comedy. It's a typical isekai where there's comedy and stuff like that. And but it's like he's an outcast reject because he was too ugly for the goddess. and and there was another god who was the one who like was bringing him to the goddess before he met her. And that person like took pity on him and gave him the powers and stuff he had. And it's kind of funny because he learns, oh, I don't want to I give that away, but there's some interesting stuff with him and his family that pop back up, I should say. Like his actual family, like from, I guess, like the our world type of thing. That there's a connection there that actually pops back up. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, I almost forgot about that I'd watched this one until you were talking about it, and I'm like, I watched an isekai that. Oh yeah, had to look this up. There's like no description of it on uh Crunchyroll.
Nope. I
Not at all.
that's
I had to look up my anime list, like,
yeah. It's
to be able to remember. Which that's
Crunchyroll
so
sometimes has
garbage.
no description whatsoever. It
How do
sucks.
you not have a description? Like that's so garbage, you know? Oh, it's got 4.9 out of 5 stars on Crunchyroll. As far as I guess review or like
Yeah, and that's out of 23,000 reviews.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good. I enjoyed it. It's definitely. I was telling you before we started. There's a bunch of anime I've watched that I'm not going to bring up just because they were like mediocre or so. That I just that nothing special. And this is definitely one when I remembered I bring this up because this is a pretty this was enjoyable. I
And it is getting
rather
a season
enjoyed this one.
2.
Oh, that's good.
That
Glad.
was apparently announced like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it's just it's it's a pretty good isekai. I'd recommend checking it out. There's some differences that set it apart from the typical like isekai things, and like I said, like there's the later on the connection with his family that maybe, yeah, it's just stuff like that I'm not gonna, I would spoil if I got into more, but this one I think you'd enjoy. So
I think so too. I added it to my list.
nice. So what's another one you got?
See, another one I watched, 2 episodes again so far out. I think we joked about it because the damn title. I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farming related skills. This one is, despite the name, not an isekai. It is a fantasy, but there's a lot of isekai uh, elements. Like, there are skill based stuff that you can pull up like a character sheet and see your skill levels and all that kind of stuff. But it's not. But it's not an isekai.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, this farmer named Owl Wayne, and that's he says that in the Japanese version, which it sounds so weird when he says Owl Wayne. Um, he again, like the title says, he has leveled up his farming skills to max, and that allowed him to basically unlock, like, I want to say, like, kind of like expertise stuff that all just made his attack power like insanely high. So, like, he's taking his you know his harvest to the city to sell, and there's a dragon attacking nearby that that a small group of adventurers is having trouble with. He takes a carrot and just goes, okay, I'm just gonna distract the dragon. Chucks the carrot, and the dragon goes poof, and explodes like a full-on explosion. And yeah, he's insanely strong. He ends up saving the princess from a kidnapper. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you want to join the Royal Army?" "No, I just want to farm." "Well, we've got a 3,000 square foot field." "No, I just want to farm at my own lands." So she's trying to get him to come to the city, but he's having none of it. Uh but again, because he's so strong and just kind of can't help himself, he ends up stopping an assassination on the king, and the king just kind of just says, "Okay, then you will occasionally take on high level adventuring work, but you can still be a farmer." So, and that's like the first two episodes. Um, so it's going to be. I can see this being kind of turning kind of generic fantasy, overpowered,
Yeah.
but it's still going to be. I don't think it's going to be terrible.
Okay. Who knows? There might be like a turn, midway through the season, like some of these animes do or
Yeah,
have.
but sometimes and those turns can turn in a good way. It can also turn into a bad way.
That's true. Yeah.
They turns are not always good.
Yep. You're right about that. Okay.
And the third episode is coming out in like 30 minutes.
Oh, nice. That's pretty funny.
So, but yeah, what do you got?
I got caught up on something that it's been a while. I binged to get caught up
You really
on
binged
My
because
Hero.
yeah, you told me you were doing this and
Yeah. Which like I had stopped a while back ago, and every time we brought My Hero up, I would tell you where I'm at, and you're like, oh yeah, kind of interesting. Um, I had stopped at the like school festival with the like villain gentleman little
uh-huh.
mini arc thing, like
Yeah.
you know.
That was
But
season 4?
maybe I think,
Yes. Season 4.
yeah, I got caught. I've gotten caught up. So though, was it season 6 just started?
Yes. There are 3 episodes
Yeah,
out.
gotcha. Have I watched any of that? I don't know if I watched any of that or not, but
Well, subbed.
okay,
Um
gotcha.
dubbed you got to go to like I want to it's on Hulu, right? Cuz it is not
Oh,
dubbed
looks like
on Crunchyroll.
episode 1 just came out apparently. I wonder if it's on Funimation. Ugh.
I believe it's on Hulu.
Does it come out day and day on Hulu? Let's see.
I well, I don't think it's come out day and
No,
day for a while.
it's not. It's not on. Dub's not on Hulu right now. On Funimation, subs on Hulu right now, but because I just looked at this list of new animes and whatever, and it shows episode. But anyways, caught up. Yeah, I hit you up because I was like, I can't believe they made reference. Like basically, they put Natsu from Fairy Tail in My
No.
Hero.
Yep, they
Like
100%
they
did.
straight up, and he's a fanboy of Endeavor. Which is hilarious because fire. Um,
Yeah.
and at first it was just I think the first time you see that character, it's just like, oh, okay, kind of looks like Natsu, pink hair, and then I think the second time you actually see he has a scarf on, and it's like, oh boy. At least I didn't notice the scarf time. Like it was the second time, and then they like turn then he keeps appearing, and then they end up turning him into a where like they sell like t-shirts of the look where he becomes like the look guy or whatever I think they call him, or the look something look guy, or because the character like makes the speech or whatever about Endeavor, because Endeavor has like this crazy super battle that you know I'm enjoying it though. The thing that really I kind of skipped a few episodes because during like the villain origin, like where it was bunch of episodes just about the villains and
You mean season
like
5?
it wasn't all of season 5.
Oh
Was
God,
it?
did it feel like it?
I think it was only a handful.
It
I watched a
was
few of them.
the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes.
Is it the last 6? Because I'm seeing. I don't know. Maybe Hulu has this weird, but yeah, there. I think there was like 6 of them or so. But like I watched the first few, and then I was just like, this is boring. I'm just gonna skip to the next episode where it's like actual.
You messed up then.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've like those episodes were probably the best of season 5.
I watched the first few and I just was kind of like, I don't really care about this. Like I was just kind of
Like
bored
like
with them.
Shigaraki's origin was like, man, he had a fucked up life.
I watched his stuff, yeah. And I don't know. Maybe I was just like it's like I don't want to like sympathize for the villains. Like type of thing.
It doesn't make you sympathize with them, but you know what they're why they do what they do, but it doesn't make you root for them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I only skipped like the last 2 of those or whatever. And I was like, oh, I can go back and watch these. I just want to get caught up on the main stuff, you know. And it's like I don't want to like I don't want to fall off because these episodes are kind of boring me. You know, I want to actually continue and get caught
Again,
up, and then I can go
they're
back.
the last episodes, so I mean, it's just.
I don't think that's true. Not on here. I don't think.
Episode 108 to 112. Okay, there's 113.
Okay, then yeah, I guess
That's not.
Yeah.
But 108 to 112 is all villain stuff.
I guess I only skipped 112. I guess I'll go watch that. I skipped it not knowing that I was at towards the end, I guess. But so I guess I did watch most of it, but I don't know. It was all right. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much. But yeah, I'm fine. So yeah, I guess I'm caught up as far as like the dub goes, except for I guess there's an episode maybe on Funimation, but I don't have Funimation right now because
No, they again they
no
don't
need.
they don't do day and date dub anymore.
Yeah.
They haven't since like
Oh yeah, I know
like
that.
season
Like
2. So there is no dub of season 6 yet.
no, there is. It's on Funimation.
I just looked and it said
I see English and Japanese for episode 1 of season 6.
Really just looked. They literally added in the last like 2 minutes then.
I don't know.
Because like I was literally just on this page and it said Japanese only. That had been that had to been the last minute.
The Hawk stuff was cool.
Yeah,
Hawk is really cool.
the stuff with Hawk was like, oh man, he's a fucking traitor. Oh, but then it goes more into that. I'm like,
he's
right.
a double agent.
He's a double, triple, whatever. Yeah.
Supercalifragilistic. But yeah, and just his abilities though, like what he was, the action behind the stuff he was, it's just like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like, he's a cool character. I like Hawk. Endeavor, like, boy, they're redeeming Endeavor.
They're trying to.
They're trying to. Like, I'm starting to like Endeavor.
Well,
Like,
they're trying to, but his kids are having none of it. Which no, they shouldn't.
I
No,
mean, what's his name?
Endeavor is a
the
fucking dick, and he was a dick to his kids. No, I no.
I mean, they're starting to give him a chance. Like most of his kids are,
Todoroki is.
anyways.
Todoroki
Yeah.
is. But Natsu, not having it. The old one,
Oh yeah,
the older
for
brother,
sure.
not having it. Which I would be this in the same. I'd be the same as him. I wouldn't be having it either.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though. They were follow. They like they did their like intern or whatever follow with Endeavor, and that whole thing was kind of cool. Like Endeavor was understanding what Deku was actually like talking about when everyone else didn't, and like his advice. Like I don't know. I'm liking the more in depth view of Endeavor we're getting. Like
And knowing what I know about kind of where this is going, I'm curious.
oh, and I kept hearing like, oh, Deku's getting more powers, and I didn't understand until like getting caught up and being like, oh shit, the powers of the other people who
Yeah.
had one for all, right? Or
Yes.
okay, I always get confused which is which. One for all for one. It's
Yeah.
like one for all is the good because it's helping others, and all for one is selfish,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's how I try to remember. Is that correct? Or did I?
Honestly,
Which one?
I don't remember either.
I think that's how I justify it in my head. One for all. It's one trying to help all.
One for all is is the transferable quirk,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all
So
for
yeah.
one
Okay.
is the bad guy. Okay.
Yeah. So I got it right. Okay.
Yes.
Boy, could they make it any more confusing though?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, that whole thing where it's like all the people who they had abilities, and then they got uh or one for all, and then those abilities are transferred, and Deku is going to be able to use. Like that's crazy. Like that's some interesting shit
Yeah.
that I'm here for. Like that's so cool. Like that's the stuff I'm interested in, that I want to see. I want to see what other abilities, because we just got the one like the dark whatever, I forget what it's called, but like
Dark Whip.
dark whip. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of been impatient, and I kind of looked ahead of what he gets. Like
Oh,
he gets some unusual shit.
gotcha. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely, once I got past the little school arc thing, like it was just next episode, like, you know, once the stuff was actually happening, and it wasn't just like fluff in between the arc type of things, you know. So I'm excited to see, see more of my hero now that I'm caught up. You got anything else?
Yes. I got another anime just started this season. Called The Eminence in Shadow. And I did not read the description before I watched it. So I just kind of I was like, I saw the name. The the picture caught my attention, so I just watched it. And it starts off following this girl who's an actress, like a high school actress, where like a couple years prior, she got kidnapped by a super fan, and I don't think things went well.
A super fan of a high school actress.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah, and it went about as well as that sounded. But like she's got trauma from it, and like she puts on this front of, you know, she plays the teacher's pet, so the teachers won't hate her. She plays the popular girl, so the students won't hate her. You know, and that's literally her words. So you kind of get, you know, where she's coming from. And she calls her because she has a driver take her to and from school because of what happened. But her father is also like a wealthy kind of businessman type, so he's got money. And she calls her driver to come pick her up from school because she stayed after. But he doesn't answer, and then we get a quick cut to the driver. I'm not sure if he died or just got the shit kicked out of him, because it was literally one of those like we see him being threatened, and then a quick cut to the ground and blood splatter. So I don't know if he died or not, but he didn't pick her up. So she walked home and gets kidnapped again. This time it was for her daddy's money. But the kidnapping was witnessed by a fellow student. And he followed them, saw where she's being held. He drops his bag, and then you see him mess with his wrist, and weights fall to the ground. I'm like, he's fucking Goku, because he's wearing weights all day. He's fucking Goku.
Yep.
And he climbs up on the roof, jumps down through the skylight, throws one of the glass shards at one of the bad guys, knocks him out. The other guy is ex-military. So, and and dude's got student that followed them's got crowbars, two of them, and he uses them as like those like those police sticks, where he just kind of uses them to like guard his forearms and stuff. And that doesn't really go well for him. So then he decided to use the crowbars as clubs, and just shatters the dude's wrist, breaks his knee, and just repeatedly hits the dude over and over again with the crowbar. You hear the squelching, you hear the crunching. I'm like, dude's a fucking killer. Oh, by the way, he's also wearing a mask, so she doesn't realize it's a fellow student. He frees her and then walks away. Then it's a quick cut to a TV screen. He was hit by a truck. I'm like, and this is the end of the first episode. I'm like, wait, is this a fucking isekai? Is this a fucking isekai?
Oh, that's funny.
After the credits, there's a scene of him standing on a rooftop. There's 7 chicks behind him. 3 of them are elves. Two of them are cat girls. Like, it's a fucking isekai. It's an isekai.
It's great.
But and the whole thing is he has he's always wanted to be the strongest. He's always wanted to be a hero. But you can only do so much, as a person. You can beat up delinquents with a crowbar. If an army surrounds you, maybe if you're proficient in martial arts, you can take them down. But what are you going to do about a nuclear missile? There's nothing you can do about that. You can disintegrate with the rest of them. So he wants power, absolute power. And that's kind of like he gets reincarnated in a fantasy world where there's magic. He kind of lives out as this. He kind of fantasizes this power fantasy that we all had as kids. Like, oh, there's a evil secret cult that's plotting to take over the world. He knows it's a fantasy, but that's kind of what's going on in his head. And he ends up rescuing this girl, and just makes up a lie on the spot. Like, you were kidnapped because you were the child of a hero from a fairy tale, and the cult of Diablos is using the heroes of the children of heroes to reincarnate Diablos, and you'll be the first in my shadow garden. You'll be my alpha. He calls her Alpha. Eventually, she finds Beta and a bunch of others, and they go along with this fantasy. At least that's what he thinks. He thinks they're all playing along too. As you fall over.
Stupid dogs. Hold on.
And he thinks they're kind of playing along too. But they 100% believe it. So he's like, his sister gets kidnapped, and one of his, Beta is just telling them, like, the cult has kidnapped your sister, and they're hiding her in one of their hideouts. And he kind of throws a dagger. He's like, she's there, and it wasn't going where he wanted to. I was like, oops, I missed. But there's nothing there. Oh wait, looking at this terrain, there might actually be something there. And he's like, brilliant acting. You deserve a Academy Award. And they go to that spot, and there is a cave there, and that actually is where his sister is being held. And turns out the cult of Diablos is real, that he was making up on the spot. And it's just kind of like one of those, this is going to be interesting, because it's one of those, he's stumbling into these things. And in that sense, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Overlord, because that's kind of what Ainz Algon was. He was stumbling into these fantastic plans, and he just happened to come across all these things, and that's kind of exactly what's happening here. So
Sounds interesting.
yeah, I'm this one I think is going to be one of the ones I watch kind of the day it comes out.
What was the name again?
Eminence in Shadow.
Okay.
And I said at first I didn't know it was an isekai, and then
That's great.
and then we saw like, oh look, elves and cat girls, and then it was the opening credits of the series. And you know how it's usually played at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
Well, the credits it shows the elves and the cat girls, but in a modern setting, in like some like maybe it's not isekai and it's actually all in his head, and it's all
That would be interesting. Yeah.
like he thinks it's all the cult is all in his head, but like what if like the whole fantasy world was in his head, and that's like maybe it's not what it kind of he thinks it is. No, it's not. It's not that way, but
yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
that should be an anime though, where he thinks he's been isekai, but he hasn't.
Real M. Night Shyamalan ding dong twist.
Kinda, yeah.
uh, yeah, it's stuff like that. You got to be careful with how you handle. People could either like it or hate it
Yeah.
if it's not handled right. You know, kind of the whole like it was in his head or it was a dream the whole time type of thing.
I mean, there have been anime that's kind of like that. Oh, there was a famous one that a lot of people really love. Um, oh, it's the name of like what they call like the eighth grade syndrome. Um,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
oh,
Eighth grade syndrome?
Yeah, it is it's the where kids who have watched too much anime, they try to make anime their real life. Like they start wearing an eye patch. My eye is so powerful. If I uncover it, the whole world.
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh
It
God, I know
starts.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um,
It's called eighth grade syndrome. At least that's the translation of it. And there's an anime with that name. It's Love Chuni BU and Other Delusions, because it's called Chuni BU. Chuni BU. I don't know how to say it.
oh yeah. Shinibi, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because I've seen animes where the characters are like that. Yeah, I think that's how they said it. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a eighth grade syndrome, and I've known people.
Yeah, there was the one anime where the character's girlfriend was that, and he was like he used to be like that, and
That's it.
no longer is. And
that's the anime.
yeah,
Love
yeah,
Chuni Biu and other delusions. That's
yeah,
that is
exactly.
that anime.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's yeah. So that's yeah. I know exactly. Okay. You said like 8th grade syndrome, and I'm like, is this like a real thing, like in our life, like in our world?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean 8th grade? Like,
No,
never heard of that. And
it's
like,
literally what that's called.
okay, I've only known it from anime. Like, so, huh? Interesting. Okay, I only got one more thing. So it's an anime I was talking to you about before that you'll probably be like, oh, that's the one where it's like everyone was ranting and raving about the. It's fair. It came out this year, I think. My Dress Up Darling.
Ah, yes.
The name, I'm not gonna lie, the name kind of kept me from watching it for a while.
I heard
For a little
very
bit.
good things about this one.
It's really good. Yeah. There's the main character, he um as a kid, he like fell in love with his grandfather's uh Hina dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old, yeah. Um so and he like lay down. I got my dogs acting crazy, so we gotta wrap up soon. I think they need to go out, but yeah. So he fell in love with Hina dolls, and he's like basically spends his whole life trying to like basically master the art of creating Hina dolls, and he's not the best at like the actual doll making, but he's great at the making the clothes. Um, to the point where like his like sewing machine ends up dying, so he ends up like going to the school's like whatever, the school's club room, because there's no actual like club, so there's just so he thinks he's safe, and it turns out that no, there's actually someone else who ends up, and it's the female character, the female main character of the show. um and she thinks it's cool he can sew, and basically she wants to do cosplay. She's big into anime and manga and stuff like that, and she wants to do cosplay, and she tried making her own like cosplay outfit, and it's just not good at all. He just like trashes it basically, like, oh my god, your seams are showing here and this, and then it just goes all crazy, and basically he ends up making her a cosplay outfit, and it just keeps going, it keeps going from there. um and it's funny because she's a big into anime, and she'll like reference these animes, and some will have like the crazy super long outrageous names. Like, it's making fun of the fact that some animes have those super crazy outrageous names,
Mm-hmm.
like it's like, how long are they actually going to get? And like the main character, he's like, oh, what he's reacting to, like, he's not really into all that, because like for some reason all he's all he's wanted in life was to be able to make the Hina dolls. Like, it's kind of weird, but he starts to, friendships and all this and that, and starts to actually get a life, and socialize, and because of making the cosplay for her and stuff like that. It's really good. I really
Apparently, there was a
highly recommend.
huge controversy about. I didn't hear about this at all. There was a huge
Oh,
controversy about this. It's dumb as fuck.
what is it? I'm curious.
One of her cosplays, she's tan. People are calling
Oh
that
yeah.
blackface.
Oh no, no,
Japanese can't
no.
tan. That's literally what they're saying is Japanese people cannot have a tan.
What?
Yeah, that's
Like,
it is the dumbest thing I've seen on the internet.
but like, it's just the style of of Japanese people in anime aren't even. They don't even look like Japanese, like
Well,
necessarily. They're just like their own
I mean,
characters in a way.
they are Japanese people, but like the fact that they're saying that Japanese people cannot, they're literally saying Japanese people cannot have a tan, and that putting tanning on is blackface.
Shit, that's dumb. No, I know what you're talking about, the tan thing, and no, that was I never thought that. Like no, like because she even says, "Oh,
It's
this
literally a
character's more."
fucking
Yeah,
style. Where like we're Japanese girls, they put like a bunch of tanning shit on, and like have like these long intricate nails. I forget what it's called. Starts with the G.
I mean, well, yeah, and they do the opposite too, where some Japanese girls just want to be as white as can be, right?
Sure, that's also
Like,
another thing.
yeah, it's just yeah, and it's for cosplay too. Like,
Well,
she even mentions like, "Oh, this character is a little bit more tan than I am," or
eh, that makes that doesn't fall in. No, like
yeah, I would never think that, but
calling
it's a
it
good anime. It really is.
for cosplay though. That's the wrong take. Um,
I
because
agree.
then that's just Japanese people can have a tan. Damn it! This is literally dumb
Yeah,
that I'm reading.
it is pretty dumb. Um, but it's kind of a good like kind of slice of life esque. Um, and like I said, it really like it really gets kind of meta. It references like some crazy stuff from anime and how things work and how things in anime are, and it's really good. Like there's a reason people have been talking this up and really enjoy it. And like I said, the name I kind of was like, kind of held me off for a little bit, and then I finally was like, okay, sure, I'll give this a shot. Why not? I've watched dumber sounding animes that turned out to be really good, like being reincarnated as a slime sounds totally stupid.
Yep.
Like, but no, it was really good. So,
And
but
the
go ahead.
voice actress in this is a well-known VTuber.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, My Dress Up Darling. It's a good fun anime. I would really recommend checking out. So
Yeah.
that's all I got. You got anything
I've
else?
been kind of wanting to watch this, but I just haven't.
Yeah, there's so many animes like
Yeah.
right now. There's been a lot the past couple seasons that I'm trying to get caught up on. Like,
I got one more thing.
okay.
And this one is not an anime, not a manga.
Oh,
It's a video game. I've been playing Disco Elysium.
I've been seeing you play this. Yeah.
I've been wanting to play this for a while just because I've heard a lot of people say it's great. And it recently showed up on, I think it was IGN. It was like best games of the year. It was number one.
This game came out in 2019 though, right?
Maybe it was of the decade.
I mean, it was game of the year when it came out
It was
for certain
recently came out
areas.
on an IGN list.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely contender in some people's game of the years when it did come. Yeah, but this is a few years old. So,
Well, hold on. Let me look something real quick. You dummy. Um. Okay. I'm playing the final cut, and I'm thinking maybe the final cut came out this year, but no, it didn't.
no. Yeah. I mean,
Um.
it's a beloved game. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
I don't remember why it was on an IGN list recently. But it's not quite what I expected. I expected it more to be like I expected. I'm see how long am I? I'm only 5 hours in, which is not long. But I thought this was going to be like um Shadowrun or some other isometric um R- RPG, but there's no combat as far as I'm aware. There could be later. I don't know. I would. Oh, what I'd be scared if there was because of. I'm not so sure the main character's not schizophrenic because like the little voices you know your conscience, you hear that you hear kind of like the different kind of moods that your character would have. It's a different voice, and this is acted. I don't think it was when it came out, but it is now.
Okay, so top 100 video games of best 100 video games of all time. It's number 10 on IGN's list, but this came out in 2021.
Okay.
December 2021. So, but yeah, number 10. God, what,
Yeah.
really? Wow.
Yeah, that's. I was like, well, okay, maybe I will check this out then. And like you wake up like you play um as a police officer, but you wake up with no memory whatsoever. You apparently were on a 3-day binger, and you don't remember a damn thing. You just kind of wake up in this hostel, and that's kind of it. And you kind of have the option just to go, okay, everybody, I don't remember a damn thing, so tell me everything. Or you can hide it and just kind of try. Although I would find that very difficult to do, because there are these dice rolls that happen in the background of fails and checks, and that could be like you walk up to a statue, and if you have enough if you have enough in your encyclopedia, you might actually get the history of of who this person was and why there might be a statue of them, or not, or it could be just it's just statue. And like sometimes you want to listen to the voice in your head, and sometimes you really don't. it's kind of all up to your playthrough. And I can definitely see this, like, playthroughs going super differently based off of, whether you decide to do something or whether you succeed at a check or fail at a check. Um, like, um, I picked a skill that allows me to do visual calculus, and that I was like, I've that's pretty good if you're playing a cop, right? And you're investigating a crime scene of a murder, you know.
Yeah.
And it can play out in a different in a number of different ways. Like, you start out, you wake up in this hostel, and there's a broken window. Do the visual calculus on the window. You can tell by the way the glass is broken outward that the objects that broke this glass flew out from this room instead of in, and you can tell by the size of the crack that it was not a very large object, but a quite small object. It's kind of like that.
Okay. When you said that, the first thing that popped in my head was Willem Dafoe from Boondock Saints. It was a firefight. He does visual calculus in that. So
Kinda,
no.
yeah.
But it's interesting. That's kind of cool. I guess people love it because there's so many different possibilities to play this.
I can definitely see that.
So you have your own. You kind of can experience it however you want.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
And like it's mostly voiced. There are some things that are not voiced. Like when you have a conversation with a character in, like I said, this didn't always have voice. So like a person says something, and then what they do is then after that, and then it can it might continue another part of the conversation, that what they do, like, buddy, I don't know a thing, and he then lights another cigarette. I saw the person the other day. He lights another cigarette is written out but is never spoken.
Okay.
So
interesting. Yeah, people were raving about this when it came out. I remember, like,
yeah, and there's been some news about this recently too, that the creators of this have been ousted from the company. Like they're no longer with the guys who came up with this. Like the guys in charge are no longer with the company.
oh wow. Yeah, this won most awards at the Game Awards that year. Got best narrative, best independent game, best role playing game,
You definitely see that.
and fresh indie game. Okay. Best indie game and fresh indie game. Okay, that's kind of sure, whatever.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like the they've been kicked out of the company, and it seems like what the company's going to do next is going to be a lot, where game companies are going with now, like free to play premium shit.
Yeah.
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 So that's what's going to be the next thing out of this company. So and there will not be a Disco Elysium 2.
I mean, you should, yeah, that'd be kind of a tall order to, to follow. Like,
Yeah. I'm actually really curious. Even though I'm 5 hours in, I already want to make a new character. Like, I want to know what a meathead would do. In the like I picked kind of a not fully a brainiac, but somewhat smart. I want to pay a dumb person who only uses their muscles. I want to see how that plays out because I can see that going way differently.
yeah, there's your role playing right there. Yeah.
Oh, and here's the thing: there are speed runs for this on how quickly to die in the game because you can die
Wow.
very fucking easily in the room. You would not really die, but you quit. Like you quit the forest. You're done with this shit. You, there is a ceiling fan that your tie is on, and here's what I did: I turned off the fan, and then I grabbed the tie. Well, strange for the tie, I cricked my back, and that hurt. That gave me a 1 point of damage. Well, you can leave the fan on and try to get it, and that can really hurt your back, and you can be out.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah, you don't have
interesting
health in this game. You have and it can go down like you have health and you have morale, and morale can go down so easily. Like, like I was talking to this little girl, and she's like, oh yeah, you're a detective like this famous character from these books, Dick Mullen, right? Can you do something? I was like, sure I can, and I failed the check, and he's like, I got nothing, lost 1 morale. I'm like, oh fuck. And the fact you only have 3, like, yeah, and if you lose all 3, you quit the force, and game over.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I definitely hit that at one point. I tried to jump off a ledge to get my police jacket, because for some reason, you wake up in your underwear, your pants and your shirt are on the bed, you got 1 shoe hanging on a coat rack, your tie is on a fan, your shirt is in the bathroom, and your other shoe is missing. And you don't have a badge, and you don't have a gun. And I then later found out, oh, there's also a police jacket that I don't have either. And I found the police jacket where it's at, but it requires a jump off a ledge onto like a lower balcony. And I tried to do that, and I did a running start, stopped, and just kind of stepped back off the ledge, and I lost the morale, and I was like, fuck. And the character just said, fuck this, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Huh.
So it's a very interesting game that can go any different ways. Yeah, you can see it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I honestly didn't really know anything about this until you mentioned it. And I never really looked into it, but
And the
it
art
sounds
style
really
is
interesting.
actually,
So,
I kind of like the art style because it's kind of like this dry brushed kind of paintery look to it. Like, see if I find a screenshot of the game. Like this right here. He got this kind of this almost kind of painterly look to everything.
oh yeah,
And I kind of like the art style. Let's see if I can. This image has actually got something I want to point out. Let's see, where is? Why does it cut off like that? Aha. Yeah, it's Alt, not Control. Um, this is this is your character's portrait when you start the game. And if you don't look in the mirror, that's where you're going to look like the entire game.
oh, interesting.
But I looked in the mirror and I had this because I started going on this because you wake up and you have you have no idea who you are. I kind of went with this because there's an option for a well, maybe I'm a superstar. So I just started calling myself a superstar the whole time. And so when I wiped off the mirror in the bathroom, I had this smug look on my face that got stuck because I also failed to check to not do that smug look anymore. So now I have this permanent creepy grin because my face is stuck.
Huh, that's interesting.
But yeah, it's an interesting game.
Is it number 10 of best all-time games interesting or
I can see it. I can definitely see it.
that's pretty big though, number of all time. Like there's a lot of good games out there. Like
Yeah. I'm seeing if I can find that list again. Um, see, best games of all time. Let's just see if it pops up there. Okay. Yeah. I'm just kind of curious on like what. Of course, Breath of the Wild is number one. Okay, I'm gonna put it. That game is not as good as everybody says it is. I'm just saying that right now. It's not as good as everybody says it is. You know why? Because the Master Sword can fucking break. The Master Sword is not supposed to be able to fucking break.
I'm kind of surprised that that's the top one, just because doesn't everyone have a hard on for Ocarina? Like, I thought that was the big one everyone loved.
Well, Link to the Past is number 4. So Ocarina is probably on the list.
It's a weird list. Like,
I'm not quite sure how they came to this list. It's number 34.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is number 8.
That game got a lot of love after it came out. Legend of Zelda is number 34. Number 33, Minecraft. 32, Halo 1. Half-Life Alex is number 26.
God of War and Chrono Trigger. Like, what? This is a weird. Like, oh, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I thought people didn't like that one.
No, people did.
Huh. Tetris is 28. Tetris. Sure.
Pokemon Yellow. It's 43.
Dude, this is a weird list.
It kind of is.
Red Dead Redemption, the first one is 37. Like,
Okay, I'm pretty sure
I'd
56
put that above
is
some of these
Overwatch.
others.
I'm pretty sure that would not be on the list anymore.
Yeah.
Sims 3.
Yeah, this is a weird list.
It
Like,
really is. I mean, Persona
Apex is
5
55.
is on this list, so I'm happy.
I mean, I love Apex, but I don't know if I put it. I don't know if I'd like best video games of all time. Like, if this was like last decade or something, some of these I could understand, but like, I don't know. Like, and that's being a huge Apex fan.
A lot of these came out in the last decade, to be sure.
I can't stand a lot of game journalists, to be honest. Like, they're so like indie this, indie that, you know, kind of pretentious sometimes, you know.
Sometimes, yeah, it's just like,
It's like, do you like that because it's like a cool indie thing to like, or, you know, do you actually like it? You know?
Yeah, because do you like it because it's not the popular norm that everybody's playing right now? Like, do you actually like The Witness? Like, really? Do you actually
Right?
like The Witness? Like, to put on a top 100 games of all best games of all time? How about The Sims 3? Do you?
Counter-Strike 1.6. What?
Yeah, 1.6, not Source. See, now if you put Source on the list, sure, I'll give you a Source. But 1.6?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's IGN after all, though. IGN's, I don't know if it's, I used to look at IGN for stuff, but I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I just can't anymore.
Here's how they probably
Wait,
came up with the list.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is better than Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
What? And they're both 98, 97. So, like, Final Fantasy VII is 98. Well, it's just, ugh. And you know what's funny is all these games have links to the reviews.
Sure. Because like I said,
Yeah.
they're all within the last decade. When
Except for a few, like SimCity 2000. Okay.
Miss Pac-Man, Earthbound.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few that don't, but yeah. Seems like this is just like a circle jerk fest for them to show off all their reviews and it's dumb. Anyways.
Yeah. But
Yeah, number 10 on that list.
but that list did make me play Disco Elysium.
Yeah, at least it did something good. It got you to try a game that you probably wouldn't have. Or...
Yeah. So yeah, but that's kind of it for me.
Alrighty, I guess we can wrap things up. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Stuart's at Casual Terror. I am at WillPlayGames _ as well as Twitch. Stuart's at Casual Terror, and I'm at WillPlayGames without the underscore.
Yes.
So, definitely be sure to. But basically, just follow us on Twitter. We tweet out like whenever anything happens, pretty much. So,
Yeah, and
with that,
I will start streaming again. I didn't stream for a while because one, I got kind of into Cyberpunk and I wasn't going to stream Cyberpunk, and two, my lights broke. The lights I had overhead, they the $30 desk lamp kind of finally gave out and would no longer hold. So I got a fancy actual. I got a key light.
Nice.
I got a key light, which also means that I can now bring back my solar flare channel point. So now if you have enough channel points on my channel, you can blind the fuck out of me.
I'll be doing that.
And it will scare the shit out of me too. Because I did a little test because the program I use can do a random one. So just going through and just testing random, just how the random function works. And solar flare came up and it scared the fuck out of me.
I bet. So that's cool. Yeah. I'm working on stuff like trying to get things sorted out and everything set up. But I'll start streaming soon. I just got to figure out like a schedule and because I have a few things I want to stream, I talked to you about a couple things, I
Mhm.
think. Just got to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, just follow us on Twitter and we'll
And
get up to dates for all that.
Extra Life is in 3 weeks.
It is, yeah. It's
So
crazy to believe. It's almost the end of the year. Like,
it is.
it's nuts. But okay, thanks to everyone for watching, listening, and we will see you next time.
And remember, well, maybe, I don't know. Animals might not have been harmed in making this podcast. I'm not quite sure.